Today we will have our training on sexual harassment. The goals for this training are to provide you with long-term benefits as far as concerns and policies on sexual harassment. This training will enable you to identify what constitutes hostile and sexual harassing behavior, reaching problem coworkers who may or may not be aware of their behavior and its implications. This training will also help assess harassing behavior, methods of prevention, discouraging harassment in its early stages, and guidelines for registering complaints. Finally, it will identify an individual or individuals who are engaging in behavior that could actually result in damaging sexual harassment claim or lawsuit. What is sexual harassment? Defined by U.S. labor law, sexual harassment in the workplace has been considered a form of discrimination on the basis of sex in the United States since the mid-1970s. There are two forms of sexual harassment recognized by United States law: quid pro quo sexual harassment and behavior that creates a hostile work environment. Sexual harassment facts. Just a few facts to throw out there. The victim, as well as the harasser, may be a woman or a man. So many times we think sexual harasser is only that of a man. The harasser can be the victim's supervisor, an agent of the employer, a supervisor in another area, a co-worker, or a non-employer. The victim does not have to be the person harassed, but could be anyone affected by the offensive conduct. There are two types of sexual harassment. You have quid pro quo, which is something for something, or hostile environment. Now you all may be looking at this slide wondering, what is quid pro quo? Well, believe it or not, this happens all too often. It occurs when an individual's submission to or rejections of unwelcome sexual conduct is used as a basis for employment decisions affecting the individual. So say, for instance, you're up for promotion and you perhaps don't get promoted because you did not adhere to someone's sexual conduct, unwelcome conduct. Also, firing, we've seen this all too often in the workforce. If you don't compromise your beliefs to someone else, the retaliation may be that of firing, hiring, transfers, awards, positive end, awards, or promotions, just to name a few. A few examples. Number one, a supervisor coerces an employee into a sexual relationship and then rewards the employee with a promotion. Another example, a supervisor takes disciplinary action or denies a promotion to an employee because he or she rejected sexual advances from the supervisor. Hostile environment occurs when unwelcome sexual conduct unreasonably interferes with an individual's job performance or creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive working environment. This form of harassment, whether engaged in by a manager or an employee, can constitute discrimination even if there are no tangible economic consequences. Let's look at a few. Displaying pinup calendars or sexually deeming pictures, making sexually oriented jokes or offensive remarks, or subjecting another employee to unwelcome sexual advances, or touching. Remember, anyone in the workplace may create a hostile work environment, from your supervisor, co-worker, or a non-employee. We're going to pause now for a short break. I want you all to take a short 10 to 15 minute break and come back as soon as possible. I'll get this going to have you out by lunchtime. This is where we're going to have, thank you all for coming back. This is the time we're going to have our questions and answers. I don't want you to feel as though because you're in front of others that you can't answer various questions about sexual harassment. No question is a dumb question. That's what I tell all of my groups when I have them on board. This is the time to feel free to ask. If you don't know, you won't know. We're going to get ready to wrap up training. I've given you various slides and information as it pertains to sexual harassment. We're going to wrap up this training by doing a little role play. I need 2 volunteers to role play. I have a paragraph that I will present you with. I want you to feel comfortable. We're just going to act this out together. It shouldn't take more than about 2 to 5 minutes. And as a group, we will give you feedback as to your interactions. A survey has been sent to you via email. Please make sure that you fill out your survey, as this will give us a proper form of evaluation for our sexual harassment training on today. Again, thank you for taking the time to come out for this sexual harassment training. If you have any questions, you may more than freely email me at rosemarysbraggins@gmail.com. Thanks.